Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Here in this phenomenal race, Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that perfect lead, 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to PSGL PSF1 Season 34, round number 11. Yes, you've read that correctly. It's not round number 10, it is round number 11. We head to the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix, and it was last raced here in Season 33, so quite recently. We're in the lobby, so that's much better than last week. Last week they had trouble getting into the lobby, but we're in the lobby, which is great news. We're about to begin. My name is Jess Ball, and joining me in the commentary box tonight, we got James Head. James, how you doing?
I'm doing so much better than what I was doing last week at this time, because we had to fill in for a 45-minute podcast, me and Evan. But we're all here, we're in the lobby, we're about to get racing here out on track in China, and it's going to be an interesting night as well, not only for the championship, but because as well, F7R are now a brand new team, formerly Talon Factory, of course. They've got some of their drivers in the mix tonight as well, so it's going to be very interesting indeed. But speaking of the championship, Jess, 4 points separating the top two, 9 points separating the top three. It's going to be an interesting night.
Yeah, it is, and I'm actually trying to find the standings on my computer, but it doesn't seem to show up, so I'll just show the ones that PSGL put up as well. So, Marcados currently leading the way on 61 points. Now, as you can see, Mexico has not happened, so that's why there's no points for that as well. Brad is in second on 57. He's got more second places and more wins as well. So, this is Marcados' first match point, as it were, in terms of the championship with 2 more rounds to go. If Marcados wants to win the championship tonight, he's going to hope that Brothers and Jade Van Bussel do not score, and Marcados has got to finish second or higher with the fastest lap. Or he could win with the fastest lap, really, in order for that to happen as well. The only 3 contenders for the championship are Jay Van Bussel, Brothers and Marcados. Everybody else is realistically out of the picture tonight, unless obviously they can get up there and score some decent points as well. But yeah, it's gonna be quite close. Again, not very consistent from some drivers, but I'm picking out some certain people. Obviously, Kian's up there as well. He still can technically be in the picture because he's out of it, but Marcados, the highest scorer in the last round, which was technically Jeddah, so he's got a better chance, but I think it's very unlikely that we're going to see a championship decided tonight.
Yeah, very unlikely, I think, indeed, given their recent form as well. Marcados, 8th 2 weeks ago in Jeddah, 14th for Bradders, 12th for Jerry Van Bussel. The form is not there for the top 3, and you were mentioning that man who's sitting there in 4th, Kian. He's currently the 4 man coming into tonight. His his last 4 races in the top 7. 1 win to that name, of course, in Japan for round 6, which we, of course, covered, and Jeddah as well with a podium. So he has got very good form coming tonight, and if there's a man to follow coming into tonight, it is him, because he's basically still in line with the championship. He's 17 points off top. Only takes a race win, and for the guys ahead, drop down the points for Kian to get back in there. Same with Black Box, same with Nando, who's still in mathematical contention as well. Everyone else you can probably count out of it. But also constructor standings as well. It's going to be so important for this season. Mercedes currently leading the way on 72, AlphaTauri in on 71, and Ferrari on 70. So there's only 3 points covering the top 3 constructors as it stands. McLaren as well on 64, along with Alpine and 5th on 63. Then a big chasm of 19 points to Haas and Alfa Romeo on 44 points. It is still very close though, even within the bottom 5 teams. Aston Martin in 8th, I should say, on 41, Red Bull in 9th on 40, and then Williams in 10th on 28 points. In the constructors standings, going to be very close, and we'll have to keep an eye on that and get our maths brains working as well.
Yes, our maths is not the best. That's why I didn't do well at maths GCSE. I did pass though, believe it or not, about 12 years ago. But again, that's why I'm in the commentary box and not getting my maths head as well. But a few weeks ago, Jeddah, for those of you that weren't aware about what happened in Jeddah a couple of weeks ago, because that was the last race that happened. It's just a reminder of who won. It was Nando who won the race. He kept his win, and it was a very good last lap overtake as well, which he gave us his POV, and it was absolutely brilliant. Some major changes though before we get to the race. Jerry Van Bussel got a 5-second time penalty that demoted him to 12th. Yossi got a 10-second time penalty that demoted him to P15, and then Jensen got his 20-second time penalty removed, which puts him back up to P6. So those are the major moves there as well. Black Box scored well, so did Kian as well, the ones we were just talking about as well. And Jensen in P6, that's one driver to talk about. The last time we were here in China was in the intermediate conditions. He did a no-stop and managed to take his tires all the way to the end with a really bold strategy, and he went on to win his first ever race in PSF1. So he could be the favourite, but he's going to hope that the weather is on his side for that one.
Well, the weather, I can say, is certainly on his side for now. It is dry. It's quite overcast, though, looking at the conditions, so it is going to be interesting. In fact, actually, no, that's just my eyesight. It is sunny. It is blue skies and sunshine out on track. That is just my eyesight playing with me right there. But we can't get out on track now. Rodadal's going to be one of the first out on track as well. But we have got one of the men who has joined the now former Talent Factory team of Mr. Oh, no, that's actually Shizou Denson out on top. Anyways, the Shizou man is out on top currently. He's the first man out on track. Of course, he won around here last season. Bolakongan also second. He's actually in 10th position, so that could be a little bit of deja vu, potentially, for both of them. Looking through the comment section as well, if you guys are asking why is it not PCF1, it's not a Wednesday. It's as simple as that. PSF1 is on Mondays, PCF1 on Wednesdays, and you will have the full breadth of knowledge, of course, of George Morgan and Jack Kanan, because I believe it is returning this Wednesday as well. We're right on board then with Jensen about to start his lap.
Yes, indeed. Here is a lap around the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix, first open in 2003. Starting on the main straight, first corner over 300 kilometers an hour, brake hard and turn right, a very long and tight 270-degree corner that gradually opens up, heading towards turns 2 and turns 3. Very precise and smooth with the steering and throttle inputs through there. Moving over to the right as you head towards turn 5, which is a very fast and flowing section of the track. Another braking zone heading towards turn 6. Lift off the throttle, turn left, and then we're going to face one of the most challenging corners on the track, turn 7 and 8. A double apex left-hander coming up as well. You're going to take full speed as you head towards turn 9 and then heading towards turn 10, the start of the potential final sector. Slow speed left-hander requires good braking and traction. Now we've seen a lot of wheel spin through here. We've seen that in many races in PSF1 in the past. Heading towards the turns 12 and 13 as well. A little bit of a oversteer for Jensen, but this is a back straight, a very long back straight. DRS will be enabled through here. DRS and ERS management is very key through here to gain the advantage or defend the position as well. Downshifting and short shifting can be key as you head towards turn 14 and into the hairpin, into second gear on entry, third on exit. Final few corners, turn 15 through the kick, turn 16, fast right-hander, another one with good traction, exit speed. We avoid oversteer through here, up to the line he goes, and it's going to be a 1:30.337 to start the night off, James.
Yeah, very good lap time actually from Jensen, already in the 30s, which is something I wasn't actually expecting out on track. Avatar there saying in the chat as well, is the weather set to random or is it set to clear? It's set to random, I believe, in the lobby, so it is dynamic weather. It's just pure blue skies and sunshine out on track and qualifying, unlike, I believe, F2, which might have had a wet qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. Jeroen, though, out on top from Jensen second, Sam Gaiman third, Higgins Brothers on the run to line, and he now goes quickest by 600th of a second above the man who's there normally in the Alfa Romeo, of course, of Jeroen. Rotterdam's looking good in the middle sector for the now defunct Parnell Racing team. Parnell Racing, of course, closing over the last couple of days. Quite a few teams actually closing over the last couple of days and people leaving. It's just, I think, the pure knock-on effect of the pandemic and everyone getting back to their own lives and everyone getting back into the swing of things once again. Rotterdam, though, was looking good. He's in the McLaren-based livery, the Williams-based livery, the Gulf Racing livery, of course, that they ran in Japan. And Rotterdam's looking good, I've got to say, on this lap, as Marcos just blast everyone out of the water with a 130 flat. A rally in there going in second as well. The championship protagonists up to the 4. Rotterdam now on the run toward the line. He goes in the end 14th, stalls out of everyone. Only 4,000th of a second though behind Ryan. We've got Keane on the lap as well, but he's in ballad. Marcos out on top. They're a rally in second. Yossi there in third, and a rally in Yossi, of course, forming part, of course, Jess, of the new F7R team, which is going to be very hard for us to say in commentary.
Yeah, F7R, which just got announced actually a few minutes before we went on air. So we went to the lobby and we were like, who the hell was this F7R team? And then about a few minutes later, it was posted on Twitter saying, introducing this new team as well. And they've got some talented drivers in there as well, and some new managers as well. And of course, we remember Eltink as well, who used to manage the Haas team as well. So good to have him on board. He has some really great experience from the F1 esports world, which hopefully he can bring to obviously this team as well. But here's last week's race winner, Nando. Well, 2 weeks ago actually. I'm so used to saying it last week, but it's not last week. Heading towards his back straight. Just a quick update for you, by the way. We were meant to get a patch today, but there were a few problems with it in terms of obviously trying to get it out. There is a fix for the equal car performance that they tried out as well, but there was some approval process problems. But luckily, hopefully, it should be all sorted. And according to Cody's, by the way, we've had word that it will be there will be a patch for this tomorrow. And fingers crossed, we will get out of these multiplayer cars and get into the normal cars for the finale in Abu Dhabi next week. So that's just a little bit of an update. So hopefully in time for the PCF1 race on Wednesday as well. So that is why some people are on random liveries and quite a lot of people are on special liveries as well. It depends on whether they got it in the podium pass or whatever, or one of the challenges or something like that. So that's just a little bit of an update for you as well. As more Borat, by the way, just about to start his lap, James, and he and Keaton, the only two people yet to set a lap time.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm about, of course, normally in the, I think, Aston Martin. It's really hard for us because we don't know who's in what lobby. But I tell you what, Mavarek's livery is looking very, very nice. The purple, yellow, and sort of like green livery sort of reminds me of his days back in his former team. 23.5 though in the first sector, looking very good. It's an outplayed racing inspired livery, I've been told as well, from Mubarak's perspective. And Mubarak, of course, the pad goat, the only pad driver actually out there on track, unlike me, which with fashion in Monaco on Saturday, definitely not the best thing to do. But Mubarak has had his fair share of bad luck. So now comes in toward the double left at turns 9 and 10. My favourite two corners out on track through this. You've got to really turn the car in nicely through there. Mubarak now through this middle sector. It's a 50.5. He's actually up there in the middle sector. I thought it was a little bit slow, but he's 50.5 in the middle sector. So that's clearly backing up the likes of Jerry Van Bossel, Volakongan, Stefano, that sort of area. And look at how many drivers are on the 30.2s, 30.3s. He's going to easily come into that mix, I believe, as well. Kilcree there in the chat saying go on Marlon as well. Marlon there down in 17th position with 31 flat. So disappointing there from the NLR man, but the OP man of Mubarak in towards the right-hander at turn 14. Keane as well, just starting up on his outlap as well as everyone is on their second runs. But now Mubarak coming through into the final corner at turn 16. Just catches the curb on the inside. Nicely done though by Mubarak. Goes the line and he goes quickest with a 29.9. It's normally a pad track, I've got to be honest to say. Mubarak out on top. It's a bit surprising, but I'm not surprised in the slightest given that it is a pad track rather than a wheel track.
And there were a few people that were saying in the chat a couple of weeks ago as well whether most people were driving on wheel in PSF1. Most people are. Mubarak, I believe, is one of the only drivers in this tier to not race on the wheel and to race on the pad, which just shows that you can race on whatever system you want with no assist. You can race with a pad with no assist if you want to. Mubarak can prove that. Louis Welsh has proved that in the past as well. And quite a lot of other pad drivers we know and love from the good old days as well. I'm trying to remember, actually. where Louis last finished in China when he was in the PS days. It was P3 in season 23, I believe, and it was Lee Finley that finished P1, and I think it was one of his first ever PSGL wins, if I'm not mistaken, which was great to see from him in the top 10. Good old Odin finishing second on that day. And there we go. And when Gil, I believe, won the championship, he won the race in China. So there we go. So those were the two notable PSGL races that I do remember from this as well. Let's see how Joe Van Bussel is doing through the going towards turn 2 and number 3 as well. But yes, everyone won cars. I like to say for quite a lot of drivers, they made a lot of effort. I think I've ran multiplayer cars for the last few game cycles, and to be honest, They've done well with what they got, these drivers. It's not the drivers' fault because they haven't given us the best livery templates, I have to say, compared to previous games. So last year's game, it was a lot better, to be fair, but this year is a bit nah. But yeah, the effort that the drivers put is absolutely fantastic because there's some drivers that are not running the special liveries tonight. But yeah, Joe Van Bussel heading towards the middle sector now, heading towards turn 10. Only in 7th at the moment. Needs to score a lot higher than that because otherwise he could lose his chance to pretty much get in the championship fight in the final round next week.
Yeah, definitely so. I've been watching Sam Gamer on his lap as well. He's just coming through the final corner now in the sporting red-white livery of Sunderland as he goes quickest by only 0.05 of a second, that is, between Sam Gamer and Mubarak. It's actually 0.06 of a second, so it's slightly changed. But a good final sector there. He had a lot in the tank to that final sector. Joe Van Bussel sporting what I can only be described as the F7R livery. He is now coming through the final couple of corners of turns 15 and 16, flinging the car through the left-hander on the run to the line. Is this another 29.9 incoming? No, a 130 flat dead on from Joe Van Bussel. Only 1,000 up. Marquinhos is down by 0.3 in the middle sector, so he's not having a good lap whatsoever. Brothers, I believe, is just starting on a lap, 30.1. That was, in fact, it was an improvement from Brothers there, going in 5th. Rallying as well, not actually getting an improvement on Yossi. Might, though, on the run to the line. Barely does. It's actually 900s down at the end. Nando's 900s down in the first sector, but Kian comes out of the blue. Brilliant lap from Kian, 29.8. I did say he was the 4-man coming into tonight. 4-man, proving so. And Benza, by the way, new reserve driver, who was due to make his debut in Jeddah, in Mexico last week. He's now in 2nd, making his debut, of course, as the new reserve.
Yeah, it's good to have him on board, actually, as a reserve, and for him doing very well out of the gates already, it may be proved to be a force to be reckoned with. We saw that with Max last season, where he was new to PSF1 and then he was winning the first race, but with Max this season, he hasn't been up there really going up the high scores, which is a bit of a shame, but again, it could be down to game and different preferences and stuff like that, but I don't think many people are on laps at the moment. So we'll run for your order then, as Kian is on pole at the moment, provisional pole. Benza in 2nd, Sam Gamer in 3rd. Mubarak is going to be starting his lap now, and he's going to be out of sync for everybody, but he may be wanting the less pressure out of everybody else. Jay Van Bussel is in 5th place. Marquinhos, your championship leader, in 6th spot. And we've got Bradis, Aurelian, Francesco, and Yossi rounding up your top 10. First Grand Prix, by the way, was back in 2004, where we saw pretty much Ferrari 1-2. It was Michael Schumacher who took his first win. And then, actually, no, it was Rubens Barrichello who triumphed in China in 2004. I thought it was Michael Schumacher, but I must have got my notes wrong somewhere. It was Rubens Barrichello. It was a very good win indeed for that one. But, yeah, there we go. We're about to get underway once again. Calm before the storm. Let us know in chat who you think is going to get pole position and who you're rooting for. I know what Kilcry is rooting for at the moment. Tiger Hardy saying Bradders will Pete. I have to say, Brad is in 7th at the moment, but I can see he's hiding some pace somewhere. I think he can climb his way back up there.
Yeah, definitely. So Mubarak, by the way, just made a mistake coming through the double left of turns 9 and 10. 2/10 down in the middle sector. If I was him, I'd come back into the pit lane, be in sync with everyone else, and then possibly be the last man to come across the line to start off his lap. If I was him, I would not try and improve on this run. He's only 2/10 down, but I have a feeling he's not going to find this 0.2 of a second. He basically needs to find 0.4, and in fact, he's actually run out of fuel, Bailey, running down the straight, so that's him now backing off. must have listened to me, and he's going to be coming in the pit lane with 3.5 minutes to go in the session. Francesco as well coming into the pit lane, which means we've got everyone pretty much in the pit lane as well. Kilcree there saying about Markedos. Markedos currently there in 6th position right now, championship leader. In terms of the championship protagonists, of course, remember, coming into tonight, Markedos on 61 points, leading the way by 4 points over Bradders. Currently, Markedos 6th, Bradders 7th, and Joe Van Bossel, who's currently there in 3rd in the championship on 52 points, is 5th. So the championship protagonists at this moment in time, bar Kean, who's out on top at the minute with a pole lap of 129.8, that the top 3 in the championship are 5th, 6th, and 7th respectively in terms of 3rd, 2nd, and 1st in the championship, which is very strange. It's very symmetrical as well. We are going to get the final ones very soon, and it also means as well that with the cloud cover beginning to build over the circuit, I wonder if we're hardly going to see any improvements on these final runs.
Yeah, and there was a few points in the chat as well, which I have to agree with. In most China races, it has known to rain around here. I think most China races I've either commentated on or raced on had rain-affected running in some way. So I won't be surprised if we see any rain heading into the race. And there is a bit of cloud cover coming up at the moment, but we will see what happens. Joe Van Bussel's going to be one of the first drivers to set a lap time, so he's going to get some clear air as well. I think there's his teammate that's right behind him as well, but it's hard to tell because quite a few drivers have got black as their primary colours too, which is not helpful. Please patch fix tomorrow, because otherwise it will be absolutely crazy and we have to deal with this another week. But yes, but I'm just trying to see. I think it was someone was saying Ryderdale was going to do well as well. I'm gonna put my money. I'm gonna think more Borak is gonna get pole position. I know he's probably not gonna get it now I've said it, but he's still got to think about attempt to find. It's a good pad trap for him. I think he could do it. Well, there goes the lobby restart, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, foul play sprint penalty. That's coming down the back straight, I think, where Kean's picked that up. There's a lot of yellow flags coming through Sector 3. Nando, though, is the first man out on track. He's currently down in 11th position with 130.188, and he's now beginning up on his lap as well. Different to the OP livery that I've actually seen him run an EML recently, but it's a very nice livery, I've got to say. Nice sporting livery that he's got on the car. Coming through there with the right-handers of turn 1, and then through the right-hander of turn number 2, Joe Van Bussen and Bola Kongan also starting on lap times and behind. People are just trying to find as much space as possible out on track, but Nando coming through the right-hander of turn number 4 in towards the right-hander of turn number 5, and a 23.7 in the first sector. Remember, Mubarak was 23.5, and I think quickest out of everyone in that first sector. Stefano picking up that 5-place sprint penalty. Ignore them. We're going to be getting a lobby restart at the end, which means we can run through the championship standings and everything, but Nando really hooked up on this lap. But again, surprising, like the second runs, majority of drivers through the first sector actually down on their first sectors. They try and get that consistency together, but it's all about getting consistency on this lap. Nando now takes that completely apart with a 600th improvement in the middle sector. So the middle sector, clearly the time to find there, coming up from his perspective, coming down through the right-hander of turns 12 and 13, and looking very, very good, I've got to say, from Nando's perspective at this stage, is Kean from Benza from Sam Gamer. Sam Gamer and also Mubarak are the final two to cross the line. So they're going to be the final ones, home and hose, for these lap times, but it's Kean from Benza from Sam Gamer. It is Nando now coming through in toward the right-hand return 14. That is on his first, on this final lap, on this final run, and he's looking to try and get him beyond 11th position, maybe into the top 10 here for Nando. On the run to the line, it's a very quick lap. He goes third. Big lap time there from Nando, 29.9, but also improvements. Joe Van Bussel, the 10th and a half down in the middle sector. He comes to the line, and he doesn't improve. He's 900 down this time.
We've got Volakonga that just came across the line in 5th spot. We've got, I think, the orange cars coming up next. It was, I think, Aurelian just came across the line in P9. We've got Margados heading towards the middle sector. He's only a 10th improvement, so not a lot for him to get pole position. What can our reserve do? Benza, he's only a few 100ths quicker than his previous best, so again, he's not going to be up there at the moment. Kean is about a 10th down in the middle sector. What about Mubarak? He's only about 8 100ths quicker than his previous best. So like you were saying, Margados has found a lot of time in that final sector. He was struggling in the middle sector, but that final sector, he absolutely smashed it and got provisional pole position. Can anyone else do it there? Benza up to the line. only P4. I don't think he managed to improve, unfortunately. Sam Gamer's going to be, I think, next to cross the line. No. Can he get... Nope, he invalidated. Never mind. Mubarak, can he get pole?
Oh.
P3, I believe.
29.8.
Yeah, P3, I think, from Mubarak. So I think I shouldn't predict polls again because I always get it wrong. But it is our championship leader, Markados, who does what he needs to do and gets provisional pole position. And by the way, James, Kian and Mubarak have set exactly the same lap time.
Yeah, same lap time. I recognised the lap time from somewhere. I didn't know from who, but Kian there second, Mubarak third. That is how close you can get around here in China. But it's Markados out on top. It's Kian there in second. It's Mubarak there in third. Yossi and Benza, only 1,000th off them as well for fourth and fifth. Nando and sixth with Sam Gamer in seventh. Same lap times also from Vola Kongan and Jerry Van Bussel. See the theme here? Aradian there in 10th with Blackbox in 11th. Brados in 10th. Brados in 12th even. Jensen, then Francesco and Jeroen ran up the top 15. And Ryan, Stefano, Rodadell and Maul on the 19 drivers. And that means, because we've got that little bit extra of a break, everything's going to get going in terms of the illegal blocking. Everything will get going, which means we can have a word from our sponsors, I believe, Jess.
Yes, so let's have a quick word from our sponsors, GT Omega. Hello, welcome back to PSGL PSF1, a track which was first opened in April 2003 and it costed $450 million to make. It is a Chinese Grand Prix. We do have a lobby restart, so we are seeing a lobby going on right now, but it's just not going to happen because, again, we got that legal blocking. But like you were saying, it gives us time to talk about the championship. Markados needs to get second or higher, which fastest lap, with Jay Van Bussel and Bradders retiring from the race in order for that to happen. So yes, the championship could be crowned tonight, but very unlikely. I do hope it goes to the final race, and that could be one of the closest PSF1 championships I think we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, not as close though as Mr. Rudy and Mr. Legend, I believe, back in the day. I think it was season 32, and that went down for points in the end. And I know Taicho was in the chat saying he's actually just put in a message right now saying definitely double stacking potentially in terms of the strategies. Yeah, definitely. So it looks like it was very overcast, I've got to say, in terms of the conditions. So wait and see on that. But yeah, championship standings wise, Markados leading the way. Again, I'll come back to this point throughout this live stream. Consistency. Consistency is the key to winning a championship. And if you're inconsistent, you're probably not going to win the championship. And I'll put it quite fair because although Markados has finished with really good amounts worth of points, I mean, 8th position in Jeddah, 14th for Brothers in Jeddah, Jerry Van Bussel was 12th in Jeddah, and then Kian, the four-man as I'm now calling them, 3rd last week in Jeddah, 1 in Japan, and has not been out of the top 7 for the last 4 races. So Kian has got the form coming into tonight, and we might only be saying about the top 3 in terms of permutations. I bet you Kian is going to be up there tonight. We saw him in qualifying there. Fantastic qualifying session from him. He's put it now with Markados, Bradders and Jerry Van Bussel. They've all got now to deliver because Kian has got them completely on the back foot.
And there's one real-life driver that Kian reminds me of. There was some driver in the 2010 championship in real life where he wasn't in the picture and then he went on to win the championship. It was Sebastian Vettel. He never led the championship that season. Kian is one of those drivers where we think, you know what, he may be out of it at the moment, but if everyone else has a bad result and Kian wins, for example, he can still be in the championship fight as well. And imagine if we have 5 or 6 drivers heading into Abu Dhabi still in this championship fight. We really do hope that is the case, but again, we will have to wait on see with that one as well. And quite a few people might call that situation as well going into this as well, but yeah, we have seen many title decides in Abu Dhabi in the past as well, but let's just hope it gets decided next week rather than this week.
Yeah, definitely. So Harmon actually raises a really good point in the chat, saying he hasn't been following the PS League. First of all, where have you been? You should be following the
Where?
PS League. But second of all, as well, who are the drivers to watch out for? In respect for every single one of these guys, I think deserve to be on the lookout, because every single one of them have their own individual traits. They are masters of their craft. Better than us in the commentary box. We are just sitting here in very comfy chairs. 5% off, of course, on all GCMA products if you do want to get that. But in terms of the actual drivers out on track, there are so many F1 Esports Challengers guys that we've had. The likes of Bradders, the likes of Blackbox in here as well, which has been really, really warming to see. But every single person, I think, in terms of their craft, deliver everything race upon race. We've had pretty much a different winner, apart from Bradders winning 2 races. We've had a winner every single week, which is unbelievable. Crazy. And I think in PSF1, I've never known it to be that much. And even in PSF2, with Jerry Van Bussel dominating last season, I wasn't even used to that last season as well. So every single one of these guys, I think, has to be on the lookout. But for me, Kian, I will keep on putting pressure on him in terms of I want to see a good performance from him. I have cursed him for tonight. I'm going to put everything on the line by saying Kian is going to win the race. He's going to be in championship picture going into the final round of the championship. Remember, 16 points. Joe Van Bussel, Bradders, Marketers all finish outside the points. Kian's suddenly second in the championship. That is how close we're talking about here.
Yeah, I can see why you put Kian in this as well, because Kian, I think's form in the last few rounds have been very good. And imagine if he was like that at the start. Remember how he was in pre-season? He was absolutely fantastic, and he was one of my picks for the title. And when I saw him not performing in the first few rounds, I was quite shocked. Maybe he lost his form or something like that. So it was very nice for him to come back and say, you know what, I'm still in this championship fight and I want to potentially win it as well. To be fair, though, he did not start the first race of the season, which kind of didn't help his momentum as well. But I do remember the pre-season race around Bahrain with myself and Evan commentated on that one. I think it was like a few thousandths of a second separating Kian and someone else for the win of the race. It was absolutely crazy. We could see something like that tonight. I think we are going to have a dry race because I think that's what it says on the game. Jensen is readied up, and we only got 19 drivers. So is someone missing?
There was only 19 in the lobby.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that's fine. I thought there was like 20, but there wasn't. So, yeah, everyone's in. Jensen has made the grid. We should be good to go.
We should be good to go. And, yeah, it is going to be interesting. China, of course, first on the F1 calendar in 2004. Rubens Barrichello, as you mentioned, took the win there. Michael Schumacher still currently holds the lap record, of course, with the 1:32.2, if I'm not mistaken. Just off my memory and off my notes that I did a little bit early on. A 1:32.238, very close to actually saying what it actually was. But 2004, of course, race distance around 152.5 kilometres, 94.7 miles to be exact, with the 28 laps that we've got here out on track. 5.4 kilometres inland, 3.3 miles. And of course, that DRS detection point, which is going to be crucial down the straight, and also one down the back straight, which of course reminds me a bit like butter, of course, that we had in the MotoGP yesterday as well. But we are going to get going very, 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 very soon indeed. Probably give a couple of minutes for these guys to ready up. It has been put on clear weather, even though my eyes were deceiving me at the start of the race by saying it was cloudy. So I think something has changed here, but I think it was going to be a dry race regardless.
Yeah, I think it's hard to replicate James on the weather itself in terms of accurate weather, so they may just say, you know what, we'll put it clear, and I prefer it anyway. Usually wet races can be a bit dull at times, but I think PSF won last season in China proved that it was definitely not the case. It was absolutely crazy. Softs can be an issue around here in terms of tyre temperatures. They don't last long at all on any of the F1 games. So, softs, not a viable option. We've seen in PSF2, with more your commentator for that one, we saw majority of drivers starting on the hard compounder tyres, which was a bit shocked because we thought that the medium to hard strategy will be likely to be the most popular. But with PSF2, most people started on the hardest strategy. And I think you started on the hards when you did a league race around here months ago, I believe.
Yeah, about a month ago, I think it was, my race around here in China. And the hard compounder tyres, even though they're not good for the first 3 or 4 laps, once they get into their wear, once they get into their real prime, I think, in terms of the tyres, they are really good to go on. And as well, we can see a split strategy. Oh, we're going to get going for the 5 red lights.
Here we go then, the 5 red lights, round number 11 of PSGL PSF1, and we are underway. And look at Kian, who's absolutely flying, heading towards turn number 1, but Markados is not going to give up on this one as well. Almost contact from the 4 drivers in the top 4, but Kian leads, Markados in second, but Yossi trying to fight back, heading towards turn number 4 then as well. Look at this, Kian to the right-hand side, Markados to the left, Markados retakes the lead already as they head towards the kick of turn 5. This is nail biting stuff. Yellow flag, BSC. And it's Ryder and Jensen.
It is Rotterdam and Jensen. Yeah, Rotterdam's got no front wing on the course. Obviously, he's had contact there with Jensen. I think Jensen may have run into the back of him. Stefano was caught up in a spin, I think, coming through turn number 4 as well. Marlon, I think, avoided all that. He's down in 18th position. Stefano certainly got caught up in contact. He's dropped down from around 12th or 13th. So Stefano there down in 19th. But Markados leading, Kian in second, Yossi there in third. Interesting calls, though, from the guys on that set of soft compound and tie. Yossi on the set of softs in third. Jerry Van Bussel in 9th on a set of softs, and Ryderdal, who's got that 5-second penalty and that no front wing, he'll be coming in the pit lane. He'll be jockeying off those tyres and going on to the set of hards, I would imagine, toward the later stages of the race, and then he can maybe think about a 2-stop. But Ryderdal on that set of softs as well. Stefano, the only one on the mediums, everyone else on a set of hard compound of tyres. It's going to be very interesting indeed, as I think we're going to get the restart right now. Markados is under trouble from Kian. Kian right in the slipstream of him is going to look towards the outside line on the Williams base livery. Here comes Kian in the Red Bull livery, right around the outside in towards the hairpin. Mubarak and Yossi are side by side. There's nearly 3 abreast as we go in towards the right-hander of the hairpin at 14, but Markados just about hangs on to the lead. Kian there in second, Yossi there in third. There's a bit of contact further down the field. I think Nando may have had a little bit of contact there with Bolo Konga. They're side by side as they go through the left-hander in the final corner. Yossi right within slipstream on the back of Kian. Blast past him in towards turn 1, and the Miami base livery of the Red Bull doesn't get the job done though, but it's Markados through and he's into the lead. Yossi now on the fresh set of softs. Contact though, Sam Gamer and Mubarak round.
Yes, I did see the contact being made by the two of them as well, but Jerry Van Bussel trying to fight with Benzo. Jerry Van Bussel is on the soft compound tyres as well. And I did say the softs were not the viable option, but Jerry Van Bussel trying to be brave at the moment, and so is Yossi, as Yossi gets a move done on Markados in towards turn number 6, and he leads this race. But how long these softs going to last, that is my question as well. But you know, you never know. These drivers can do it, and we have seen safety cars come around about this time, so they can get the hards to the end. The hards lost quite a bit of time around this track as Francesco trying to get some decent points. He's already got some good points already in this league, and he could get another consecutive point scoring finish if he could keep this up. He's under pressure from the likes of Jerome and Ryan, who are fighting side by side, heading towards turn 13. It's the Williams versus the Alpine, and it's the Williams that comes out on top, up into 11th spot. So great job from the OP man in P11, Jerry Van Bussel, trying to get up the inside of Benza then. Let's see if Benza can fight this one. Nope, he can't. Jerry Van Bussel with the fresher grip stays ahead of Benza.
Oh, and Black Box has nearly run into the back of Benza into that part of the track as well through 10-14 at the hairpin. Just a bit of a slight tap there from the PSR man, or the former PSR man there of Black Box. Benza there in 5th, but there are already pit stops into the pits. Eurona's in, so I wonder if he's got damage maybe from a little bit of contact earlier on in the race. And Rallian certainly went onto the set of medium, so that is him now out of contention potentially as well. Pit stop around here sets you back around 23-24 seconds, so it is going to be very tight on terms of these guys to get back into the race. If they get a safety car, of course, they will. But Yossi leading the way. 1.3 seconds is the lead at this gap. Nathan, by the way, in the league race that I covered around here in China on a Saturday night, Yossi leading the way. He's done exactly the same strategy as what the guy did in the lead of the race then. The softs only lasted around 4 or 5 laps before Markados, Kian and the likes can catch. So Markados and Kian, watch out for these guys in the shorter term. Yossi not really pulling away out in front, but everything now beginning to settle down until, of course, we get to the back straight.
Yeah, I think we will start to see the gap closing very, very soon, so watch out for that. But let's have a look at who's gained the most places. And I have to say, Stefano, Ryan, they've gained 5 spots, as well as Black Box and Jay Van Bussel. Yossi, by the way, has gained 3, and he is increasing the gap just a little bit as well. But DRS is enabled, so we'll start to see Kian pull up from Markados, and he tries to get past him, and he does, with the beauty of the slipstream as well, and the toe. Kian is up into P2 as they go through into the hairpin now as well. Will anyone else be able to take advantage? I don't think so. But I think maybe we could see some moves heading towards Terminal 1. So let's watch Markados once again. He is now going to have the DRS in at the Williams car. But Kian tries to break free of Slipstream. So Kian stays ahead in second position. But they've got to work together to try and make sure that they can close up on to Yossi at this point as well. Because we've got Jay Van Bussel also in this queue, who's also trying to get past. And he's on the softs as well. So if Jay doesn't get a move on ASAP, then his choice to going on the softs was probably meaningless.
Yeah, definitely so. And to be honest, there's two things that are striking at me right now. PSR and OP have got to work together, first and foremost, with Keen and Markados. It is an individual championship, but let me tell you, from the team game, PSR and OP absolutely detest each other in terms of their battles out on track. It is personal, let me tell you, between them both. So hopefully they can put that aside. Hopefully they can have a really good battle. Jerry Van Bussel, of course, right on the back of these two as well. His softs really coming into play, actually, as we get towards the end of lap 4. But Kian there and Markados, they are dropping time. It's 2.3 seconds now in the gap, so it makes me think Kian is just trying to conserve his tyres. Maybe for a set of soft compound tyres in the second half of the race as well. They are perceivable to get there. Jerry Van Bussel, though, is not going to sit back and relax, though, on the back. So Markados is not going to sit back and relax on the back of Kian. Neither will Jerry Van Bussel as well. He's in the slipstream of Kian, maybe looks towards the inside line, but he doesn't. It's Markados through, and he's into second. Kian there in third. Kian not really putting much of a fight on that set of hard, which I think is very nice indeed in terms of his compound tyre and in terms of his strategy call as well, potentially going maybe onto that set of soft compound tyres as well. Paramal saying his FPS dropped to 20 frames a second. It seems all fine on my end, might just be a device thing, potentially. Hopefully everything is good on your end. Might just be Jess's Wi-Fi as well. Who knows what is going on, but you'll see out on top. Markados second. Keenan third, yeah, it's all fine on my end, so might just be on Paramal's end. I know YouTube has been messing up in terms of the stream quality recently, so might be that.
Yeah, and by the way, I have just got back from holiday about 3 or 4 hours ago as well, so I haven't done much testing with the stream. Obviously, I did the testing to see my connection was working, and that was fine, but yeah, it's all looking good as well, so it may be down to obviously your internet as well, and maybe try and low down the stream quality if you're having troubles with the FPS and stuff like that as well. So apologies if you're having issues, but yeah, there were the stream quality if you can as well. But I'm speaking about these soft tyres here, and we thought those were going to absolutely die at this point, but look at that gap that Yossi's pulling away from Markados. It's about 2.5 seconds. I think he's probably listening to us. You thought, no, those softs are not going to die just yet. He's probably saved a little bit of his tyre life, and he's going to use it right here and right now. I'm very impressed with what Yossi is doing at the moment. And let's see what Jerry Van Bussel could do in the background, as he's under pressure from Kian and Markados as well. Kian to the inside of Markados. He gets past. Bit of a look up from a lot of drivers there in that hairpin. So that stopped Jerry Van Bussel even getting that move done. But yeah, Yossi doing a fantastic job out front. I know he may start to lose the gap right now, but he increased the gap in the last couple of laps. So that strongly suggests that the squabbling between these three drivers is not helping one bit.
Yeah, Markados looking to the outside line again and through 1, now into all the right-handers of turns 2 and 3, but I don't think he's going to get the job done. He sits back and relaxes on the back of Kian. Gap is 2.5 seconds out on track. The gap is only going up now, about 0.2 a lap compared to, 8-9 a lap just a couple of laps ago. So Yossi is finding time on those softs. These softs, though, will begin to wear off from this point onwards in the race. We have the optimal, I think, down to about 9 or 10 laps for the softs. So that is going to be interesting in terms of that. And look, Kian, 2.2 seconds. He was so quick down on the straight line. He's really got the setup tuned for an absolute fine tee. So Kian doing a good job there in second. He's just got to work together, though, with Markados, with Jerry Van Bussel. Jerry's now not going to make any inroads. He's going to sit back, I think, on the back of Markados, maybe bring Ben's black box into play as well. But Jerry Van Bussel, I'd be concerned if I was a Jerry Van Bussel fan right now, because he's there in 4th. He's there on sufferance. But a set of soft compound tyres, they are not going to do him any favours in the next part of the race. Benza and Blackbox are going to be all over the back of him. Jerry Van Bussel, though, maybe trying to eat my own words. You're speeding down the straight. Is he going to try and catch the back of Markados before we get to 10-14? There is a yellow flag. That is Aurelian. No, sorry, Yaron, I think that is.
Markados
Through there. Jerry Van Bussel, though. right on the back of Kian. Marcos does make the move, but Kian gets a good run, coming out of 14 and 15 in towards 16. Shuts the door on him, and the OP man is through on the former PSL man, now, of course, part of F7R. Kian there through, and he's into third. But for how long? Is he going to go back at him in towards turn number 1? No is the answer. Marcos remains in P2.
Marcos, brilliant job there as well. He is your championship leader, and hopefully he's going to stay that way. And he's ahead of all of his championship rivals as well, and that is definitely what he needs. It can be advantage him going into the finale next week. And as it stands, he's not going to win the title today, but he's putting himself in really good stead for Abu Dhabi, because the higher he finishes ahead of his championship rivals tonight, the more chance he actually has of winning the title next week as well. But we want it to be close as well, but I'm really glad that Jay Van Bossel is giving a lot of these guys some run for their money as well. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the sauce lasting a bit longer than previous games. Around the track, I was expecting it to lose its life around 5 or 6 laps, but it's lasting a bit longer than this as well. This could be a strategy I might try in future leagues where we have China as a track, which is probably going to be ages away. So I'll try and remember that strategy, because it seems to be working for quite a lot of these guys. So Jay Van Bossel, I think he's definitely losing time on Kian, so I don't think he's going to get the move done there. But Kian is going to have, I think, round number 7 on Marcados through in towards turn 14 and 15. He gets past Marcados up into second place, and I think it's going to be a switcheroo for the next few laps, I think, before these drivers come into the pits for a set of the medium tyres. So yeah, I won't be surprised if that happens as well. Oh, it looks like Marcados is almost going to get past him into turn 1, but Kian again shuts the door.
Yeah, potentially as well. With them, I'm assuming that the F7R guys are in the same party as each other. Joe Van Bossel certainly, I think, will be in with Kian. Kian will be feeding back to him. There's a yellow flag, and there's Rodador on the right.
Safety
and that
car.
is a safety car. That's a very weird place to go off there from Rodador's perspective. He must have lost it coming through the right hand of 13. Maybe got caught in the bump, but he's gone spearing off into the wall on the left-hand side. So that's a safety car deployed out on track, which goes, A, out of my window. B, it's not good for everyone as well, as Sam Gamer's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Now, he was at the back of that train in 15th position, a little bit off the back of Jensen and Marlon. So he's sped onto the pit lane, so that is now a drive-through penalty for him, down in 15th. But what that does now is ruin everyone's race, and I wouldn't be saying this normally, but it's, in terms of strategy, lap 8 out of 28 is not the best place to be in terms of a safety car. So the soft compound and tyre runners, I think, have probably got the favourable advantage. Kian Marcados, everyone on the set of hards, and Stefano and Yaron and Aurelian, who's actually just came in the pit lane along with Mubarak, they came in for a set of softs and mediums, makes me think that this race is going to be more 2-stop than 1-stop. And the hards, it's weird. The soft runners, Yossi and Jerry Van Bossel certainly, have got a favourable advantage from this.
Yes.
If not, hard runners later on, they're going to be maybe set of mediums to the end of the race. Will they last 20 laps though? That is going to be the real question that everyone's going to answer now.
I like the fact that this safety car is going to change quite a bit of the strategies, and I like it when it's a strategy-filled race, and I won't be surprised if everybody goes into the pit lane, which they do. Mediums can do it, give or take, but they're going to hope, I think, for a few more safety cars. And yeah, Sam Game will have to serve his drive-through, but he comes in anyway. And I think Mubarak and already they will stay out because there's no point for them unless they want to go onto a set of cars.
No.
Oh, what happened?
There's double stacking in the pit lane, Nando, and I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, is that Benza just coming out in front of him? It is Benza that came out in front of him. So Nando, the real loser in terms of that. Sam Gamer's gained a couple of positions. He's there in 15th position. He has dropped off on the back. Stefano on that set of hards. But the real loser out of all of that was Nando. And that was from Benza coming in a couple of positions ahead of him. Nando was, I think, 10th coming in the pit lane. He's now 14th.
Yeah, and there was one person in the chat that was raising about this issue earlier. With multiplayer cars, and I pretty much experienced it on a Tuesday night in a league that does multiplayer cars. You don't know who your teammate is, and with it being a lobby restart, you're not gonna know. You're not really gonna know unless obviously you have a maybe a look in the pit lane beforehand, but you're going to hope there's no lobby restart. Usually I tend to look to the left or to the right, but sometimes I don't recognise which driver is running what liveries unless you race with them on a daily basis as well. So yeah, I think with these situations, it can't be helped really, unfortunately. I think when the normal cars will be raced at next week, hopefully, if the patch fixes itself then, it would resolve those type of issues. But yeah, it is a bit of a shame, of course. You won't know who your teammate is, so you can't really blame anybody for this. But yeah, I think there's a lot of drivers that kind of lost a bit of time in it, but there's quite a few drivers that have gained quite a bit of a bit as well. Yossi and Jay Van Bussel, to name a few. But Yossi is going to be leading the safety car away once everyone catches up as well. But Borak, we'll see how he does on those Socon powder tyres. He's definitely going to be turning into a two-stop race. Same with the likes of Jerome and Aurelian as well. Everyone on those mediums, when will they go onto the Socon mounted tyres? They probably figure they're going to have another safety car coming.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, our notes, these may be out of date. It's your database that I think we get all of our notes from. The medium compound tyres have a lifespan of 17 laps. So let's just take that into perspective. We've got, 18 laps of this race now left, with going on to lap 10 out of 28. We're under the safety car, so it is going to take a little bit off in terms of the tyre wear, which is good for the medium runners, but it's also not good at the same time because mediums only have an optimal of about 13 or 14 laps. So it's going to be really, really touch and go. It depends on the driver now, I think. And if the driver has an aggressive driving style, they've got no chance to get to the end of the race. If they haven't, and they're conservative, and we don't get another safety car in this race, and they're conservative, and they save their tyres towards the end of the race, then those are the ones that are going to be the real reaping the rewards towards the end of this race. It is Yossi out on top from Keen in second, Marcos in third, and it's Jevan Bussell, Blackbox, Volokongan, Bradas, Benza, Francesco, and Marlon in the top 10. Marlon, of course, started 19th on the grid, so he's up 9 positions from that. He's up into 10th. But we have seen, though, as Ryan Jensen, Stefano, Sam Gamer, your own top 15, are running there in 16th. Interesting strategy call from the OP guys of Nando and Mubarak. They have gone back onto a set of hards, and I'll tell you what, Jess, that is not a bad call at all. They may be down in 17th and 18th. Put it that way, they won't be 17th and 18th come the end of the race. That is a very bold call, but it's a brilliant call.
I think it's a brilliant call as well, because that was the potential time where people were going to pit anyway onto a set of hards if they started on the softs, and they could get to the end from there, no problem. It's going to be hard for them to get their tyres up to temperature straight away because they literally just pitted, and the safety car, as we speak, is coming in this lap, but they're going to have the more durable tyre, and they're more than likely to not get a puncher. So watch out for those two come the end of the race. I did say at the start, watch out for more Borak, and I could be proven right here, but you never know. Things could all change come the end of it. Will we see a 2-stop? Will we see a 1-stop? Will those mediums get to the end of this race? Only time will tell, as Yossi will be leading the field away on this restart, and he's a bit Mylander in that multiplayer car, which looks very, very nice, by the way. If you like this content, make sure you leave us a like, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell if you are new, and also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PremierSimGL. So when is Yossi gonna go from his spot then? As soon as he floors it, that is when you keep at a constant speed. So we'll go on board with him. I was worried my camera settings would reset after the latest patch last week, but luckily it has not. And here we go then, we are going green, green, green in PSGL. And I think we just saw someone going to the pits. That is Sam Gamer serving his drive-through. Fair enough, I didn't know you could do that. But as you can see, Kian trying to dive it up down the inside in towards turn number 1. Bit of contact there as well, which is not ideal. But he tries to cut back for Marcos in towards turn number 4. Marcos could take advantage of that as they head towards this straight in towards turn 5. This is the kink that we've been talking about for many, many corners. And here we go around the outside, but we'll lock up for one of the drivers once again. Again, a bit of contact from Kian. Marcos goes, thank you very much. That's my P2. Wow.
Yeah, and that was on the hitbox, actually, of the car. There was not physical contact there between Marcos and Kian. If I was Marcos, if I wasn't getting a penalty, I would actually give that that position right now, because Kian will report that. He will definitely report that. If it affects the outcome of the race, it affects the outcome of the championship, will definitely be the case. Marquez, though, on the back of Yossi, we've still got quite a long way to go in this race, so it might not actually be, it might be a small thing in terms of this. It's Yossi, though, out on top, and Marquez there in second, Kian there in third. Will Murdoch saying F7R is PSR. It is indeed. It's also Talent Factory as well, in disguise, if you know about that. But Marquez on the back of Yossi towards the race lead. Here it goes to the inside line in that Williams Gulf Racing livery on the run towards the inside of turn 14. Does he get the job done? Yes, he does. And look at Black Box coming on the back there of Joe Van Bussel up to the inside line of him. Doesn't get the job done. And now Volakongan and all of that getting up to 6th. Benz is up to 7th. And Brothers is dropping down the field very markedly. He's there down in 8th, maybe under pressure from Francesco as well. But Marquez there leading the way. Yossi leads in 2nd with Keenan 3rd. Very, very good restart by everyone. But Marquez now controlling the race just like he needs to do. At this point in time, though, Jess, it's not enough. And Marquez, it will go to the final race in Abu Dhabi.
Yes, because he needs the likes of Joe Van Bussel and Bradders to not score in order for the championship to head down to the pretty much be crowned tonight. So Marquez, I don't think he cares, to be honest. I think Marquez wants to score as many points as he possibly can. So at the moment, he's doing what he needs to do. He's pulling the gap he needs to. It's about a 5/10 gap. DRS will be enabled very, very soon as well. So Yossi can fight back. Same with like Kian and Jay Van Bussel as well. And we know the S7R guys, oh my God, this is going to be a tongue twister the rest of the season now. But I wonder if they're going to be using the team to their advantage. But I do remember from previous seasons, you're only allowed to work together realistically if you're in the same constructor. If you're in the same esports team, you can't work together in championship situations unless you are in the same constructor. So they could, but they can't, because otherwise they'll get a massive telling off from the stewards. But we're seeing, I think, Ryan going for a move on Francesco in towards turn 13 and 14, as we've got the Alpine tucked in on the outside as well. Again, a look up from the Williams liveries as well. There's multiple Williams cars on the grid, and they're not all Williams liveries, which makes things very, very confusing. But Marquez sets the fastest lap of this race, and is pulling a 1.5 second gap on his main rivals, which is just what he needed.
Just what he needed, but he's not doing enough to win the championship. Does he know that, though? Has he been told that he's not doing enough to win the championship? Who knows? Jerome trying to look to the outside line, and Marlon further down the field through turns 1, 2, and 3. Not getting the job done there, though, in the Alpine-based livery. Of course, one of the new liveries that has been added recently into the game. But Marquez there leading 1.7 seconds. It's perfect for him. But it's going to come back to bite him later on in the race, because his ERS, he's already used up towards 30% of ERS that he's currently got. Yossi has not used any, and he's on 79%. So Yossi and Kian have said, you know what, just let him go. Let him think about his own race, and we'll come and get him in the final few laps of the race. It is a very bold call to do this, I've got to say, because it is literally trying to have the escaped person up front being chased by the peloton. It's like in cycling where you have the peloton in behind. They've literally let them go. Have they given them too much of an advantage with 1.8 seconds the gap? Yossi and Kian, if I was in their shoes right now, I'd think about working together. That's exactly what they're going to do, because Yossi seems quicker than... Kian seems quicker than Yossi. Looks the inside line, will get the job done even before we get to turn 14. He's so quick in a straight line. They've got to utilise that now. Kian Thuney's into second.
Yeah, I think Kian needed this as well, because he knew that Marquez was closing up, pretty much increasing the gap in the rate of knots. So now Kian can close in and try and close, pretty much get that lead, which he's been absolutely dying for in this championship. I don't think, I'm trying to remember, has Kian won a race this season? I think it was Japan that he won.
Yep.
This season. Benza trying to have a fight with Volakonga, making a bit of contact. I don't know how they kept it on the road, but they definitely kept on the road there. Brilliant stuff from him. By the way, great debut from Benza in P6 right now. It's a shame that he couldn't race last week, but he's definitely giving him some great debuts this week as well. I can tell that he's running a Mercedes-style livery from the colour scheme, which I have to say it looks very, very nice, to tell you the truth, with the teal as well and the green. So yeah, I can tell that he's running a Mercedes anyway as well. They don't have to run similar to their constructors if they don't want to, but it just makes things easier for us commentators. Gap now between Marquez and Kian, 1.5 seconds. Yossi now 6 tenths still on Kian, so Yossi is still within reach, but Kian doesn't want to think about that at the moment. He's got to concentrate on what's going on in front, and someone just saying the tyre smoke in China is insane. Yes, there is a lot of lockups here, and there's some apexes that you just can't see because sometimes they break so hard. And we're just looking at Yorzi at the moment. He's unable to get past Keen, even though he's closing in on DRS, which is a bit of a shame, but it shows that it's all quite close soon.
Yeah, Kian has got very good straight line speed though, so I would not be worried if I was in Yorzi Jerry Van Bussel's pursuit right now, because Kian there in second, he's got so much straight line speed. He's not going to show it. He's not going to show it as a real trait that he's got, but he has got much better straight line speed than Marco does, and that is going to suit him towards the end of the race there as well. Looking through the comment section as well, Mr. Alex the G is in the comment section. That's going to be interesting. Avatar saying Marco does is too fast. At this pace, he will destroy the tyres faster. I totally agree with that. That is what we're going to have to look in for towards the end of the race. If these guys are thinking about getting to the end, they've got to conserve their tyres. Marco has went like a gunshot out of a barrel, quite literally, in terms of his race so far. He has gone for broke early on, and I think that's the wrong tactic to do. If I was in anybody's shoes right now, I'd be in Kian's shoes, and I keep on saying about Kian tonight. But look at him. He's in second position. He's starting to catch markers. It's 1.4 seconds. Maybe James Head curse is actually not a thing anymore, and it might be just a bit of good luck that I'm giving him.
Well, to be honest, it's not just a James Head curse, it's a Jess Ball curse, because I said Kian was going to do well around here as well. So, yeah, it's a commentator's curse here tonight, and at the moment, Kian is doing really, really well, but he's not closing in yet. But I think I have to say, if Marcados is pushing too much, Kian will probably be a little bit patient and try and get past Marcados later on in the race as well. We're heading towards lap 16. Of 28 so far. Plenty of action still to go, but we're pretty much half race distance at the moment. Clear, sunny day in China as well, which is always good news. Not like it was last season. Last season's race winner around here, not doing a decent job, unfortunately. He's in 11th spot, and he's not going to score any points. But he's still in the train with the likes of Ryan Francesco and Brad. It's not over yet. The only driver that's not in that train is Sam Gamer, of course, because he had to serve his drive-through penalty. But everyone else is still in the mathematical fight to win this race.
Yeah, definitely so. And Harmon, I should say, in the chat has mentioned, what are the OP PSR Shazoo prefixes? Are they teams? Yes, they are. PSR standing for Paradox Sim Racing. OP standing for Outplay Racing, not OP as in their actual team, because they are a bit OP.
SHZ is Shazoo, FBR is FBR.
FBR is Formula Campionato, I think.
LNR is Never Last Racing. And by the way, it's not PSR anymore, it's F7R. F7R,
which is why you're seeing old people in their team running old prefixes, because they haven't actually changed it. As Yossi goes the inside on,
because of money.
He has had... Yeah, because of money indeed. Yossi is through, and he's into second. Key in there in third. Blackbox in fourth, and that now means... Jerry Van Bussel there in fourth. Blackbox in fifth. That actually now means Jerry Van Bussel and Blackbox. It's getting close to actually dropping out of DRS range. But now they're beginning to slingshot off each other, Yossi and Kian. 1.2 seconds now, the gap. They've looked at the ERS for Yossi. 49%. Marcados, 24%. Double the amount of ERS the Marcados has got. If I was in Yossi's and Kian's shoes right now, I would not be concerned in the slightest that they are playing this race absolutely perfectly so far. And we've still got 11 laps to go. Alex the G there saying in the chat as well that he is telepathically connected with people, which is good to hear about. And also, what do you call it when Volakongan is unhappy with driving standards? Shazoo, racing, or ping-ponging? That does not make any sense.
And he's saying that I'm calling the drivers with Fanatec out and rigs broke. No, I'm not saying that. To be fair, I do have a Fanatec setup myself, but I'm guessing they just can't be bothered to change their gamer tags. They will change it eventually. Give them a chance. The team was only formed a few minutes before the race, so they can't have just changed it dead on. Obviously, Jerry Van Bussel knew about it beforehand, but there were certain drivers that couldn't change it until it was officially announced. And they wouldn't have known it's announced until, obviously, the tweet went out. So they're going to change it after the race. Jeez. There we go. That's my rant over.
Ryan right on the back of Francesco Largo, by the way, back to the race in action. He's on the outside line. 2 Williams Gulf liveries going at it towards turn number 14. And Ryan is so much later on the brakes than Francesco. Is he going to do it around the outside? No is the answer. Francesco leans on him slightly. Ryan's going to have to back out of this one. He is surely not keeping this to the inside on a 16. Doesn't work. Francesco through, and he's into 9th position. Ryan Rain in 10th, and now Jensen right on the back of him. Of course, race winner last season around here. Volokongan there in 2nd as well. Volokongan currently in 7th. 2nd last season, of course, Tom, who was 3rd last season, not racing tonight. I believe he's busy in McDonald's, if I'm not mistaken. But Markador's leading the way from Yossi in 2nd. Key in there in 3rd, as we see. The first 3-second penalty they picked up for tonight, and that is Sam Gamer through the final corner. He's down in 18th position. Not the best race for the man who's supporting the red and white livery of Sunderland right now, which is probably like Sunderland's chances in the championship, but there we are.
Oh, there we go. James is going all in, to be honest. But to be fair, I do not like football.
This ain't my own team there.
That is true. That is true. And that's what being a commentator is. Sometimes they're making fun of Coco. Anyway, back to the racing. I think Marcos is tired. He's starting to die a bit, I think, because look at Yossi and Cian, catching up at a rate of knots. Same with Jerry Van Bossel. Don't count him out as well. He's going to get some straight line speed. So let's watch that train make their way past turn 13, heading in towards turn 14 with the DRS activated. And it looks like Jerry Van Bossel was the closest, but he was unable to get past as well. Keep an eye on the gaps as well between Nando and Aurelian. If Nando gets past Aurelian easily, that's when we know that the hards will be the optimum tyre compared to the mediums, but it's not quite yet, so we'll wait until that happens very, very soon. But I want you to get predictions in chat. When will the hard tyres become the most favourable tyre compared to the mediums? Let us know. And do you think Nando and Morbrat can still have a chance of getting some decent points? Yes or no? Maybe, but it depends if these guys can keep track position.
Yeah, I think Nando and Morbrat, the way this race has panned out, it hasn't really worked in their favour. The hards have not really worked. It'll be later on in the race, though, that they will begin to come online. Sam Gamer retires out of the race. He is done for the night. He is done. Probably going to go on EA Sports FC 24, whatever it is that the kids are now playing these days. He's there down in 18th position. Markador's leading, Yossi in 2nd, Keen there in 3rd, Jerry Van Bossel in 4th. And actually, speaking of Jerry Van Bossel, I'm watching on board with him right now, and he's got 100% of battery to utilise in the second half of this race. He has been very coy, I've got to say, in terms of his battery usage. He is always the same, no matter what track it is. Always good in terms of his ERS management. Kian's on 52%. Yossi on 55%. That yellow flag, by the way, for Sam Gamer. Here comes Yossi actually for the race lead. Speaking of which, the inside line down the straight in towards 10-14, and maybe Kian's going to filter in this as well. And Markador's all of a sudden has gone from 1st to 3rd in the blink of an eye. Is Kian going to look to the inside line on Yossi? No, block effect there in full effect, and Yossi through and he's into the race lead. Kian there in 2nd, Markador's there in 3rd, but now it's Markador's turn to save his ERS management, and that is not the best thing, not the baddest thing to do out on track, as Kian now looks towards the outside line in towards turn 1, but I don't think he's going to be enticed with this battle. He's going to be alongside, running in towards turn 1, but Yossi there leading, Kian in 2nd, Markador's in 3rd, and now all of a sudden the new F7R guys, 3 of them at least, have a stranglehold on this race.
Yes, Yossi in front, Kian in 2nd, but Jay Van Bossel only in 4th spot, but he's looking very, very quick as well, and Black Box in 5th spot. And as it stands, a quick reminder on the championship, it will go down to the final race because both Jay Van Bossel and Bradders are still scoring points, and the gap at the moment is 4 points, so it will still go down to the final race. We will do some maths at the end of it as well to know who's going to be in what position and what everyone needs to do to secure their championship as well. And of course, we got the constructors as well to think about. And it is Mercedes that are still leading by 1 point on AlphaTauri. And it looks like it's going to carry on that way currently as they make their way towards turn 13. But past the hairpin now as well. Markador's interestingly using the overtake button through that tight right-hander. Markador's going to get to the right. Kian's going to cover off, I think, to the left. Here comes Markados through turn 14. He brakes very, very late. I think there was one other driver that braked very, very late as well. But Markados is boxed in by both Kian and Jay Van Bussel.
Oh, my word.
To the right-hand side. They're keeping on the road. Kian, by the way, is up into second spot. Markados drops out of third. Here comes Jay Van Bussel to the inside of turn number 1. Can he hold his line? Yes, he can. Well done to Jay Van Bussel. He's up to third.
And that is what you call racing right there. That was right on the limit in terms of the racing. We've still got 8 laps of this race to go. And that was probably the best overtake I think I've seen in a while here in PSF1. Brilliant, brilliant tactical work there by Keane and Jerry Van Bussel to get ahead of Markados. Markados won't be happy. OP won't be happy. But then again, it's not Legacy Division, is it? It's individual racing, and this is what we are paid to see. It is fantastic stuff out on track. Yossi there leading, Keane in second, Jerry Van Bussel in third. And we've got a big old DRS train all the way down to 17th position as well. What could you not like more about this race? I have done somebody in there in the chat, by the way, in terms of throwing a little bit of shade.
I saw that.
Yeah, Division 4 Championship leader, now about 40-odd points ahead of me in the Championship, which is the worst possible thing, but there we are. But Yossi leading the way, Keenan second, Jerry Van Bussel third. What I think they need to do now, Kean certainly, he's got good straight line speed. He needs to save up on his ERS. Jerry Van Bussel has done that in bucket loads. He is now going to be the main man to watch, I think, for in this race. Kean's potentially going to be on the back foot. Benzer as well, potentially going to be in amongst the mix as well. Blackbox looks for the inside line of Markados. Blackbox as well, actually, we haven't really mentioned him in this race, and it's because he's been a bit of an underdog. He's doing a great job there in 5th position. Little unknown fact about Blackbox, of course, he did take pole position in Silverstone in F1 Esports Challenges, and I believe with 2 other drivers in qualifying. It was tied in qualifying back then. Blackbox there currently in 5th position, doing a good job on the back of Markados, who I believe was one of those guys. But Yossi there leading from Keane second, Jerry Van Bussel in third, up 22 out of 28 and everything now. This is what I like to call calm before the storm.
Yes, definitely calm before the storm, as you were saying, and anybody in this DRS train can win this race. It was unlucky for Sam Gamer to be out of it due to his drive-through penalty, but apart from that, and with Ryder Dow causing the safety car, we've had no other retirements. They're all pretty much even on pace. Even Nando, Mulburak and Stefano are doing a decent job on those hard tyres, but again, they just can't get past due to the long DRS train. And apologies about me trying to sneeze a lot. I think...
Bless you.
I can't tell if it's like autumn hay fever coming up or if it's something else. So hopefully it's not a cold because I'm going back to work tomorrow.
I hope it's not as well. For the sake of everyone in the stream, I think we hope it is not a cold or COVID or anything that is going about right now at this stage. But Yossi there leading the way. Keenan second. Jerry Van Bussel there in third. It's 4/10 of a second between them. Here comes Blackbox though on the back of Markados. Markados has dropped like a stone through water. And to the inside line, there is Kean on the back there. Oh, sorry, Jerry Van Bussel on the back there of Kean. Markados though trying to hang that all the way around the outside. Markados now on the outside line. 4 turn 16, Blackbox ahead. Beautiful stuff by the former PSO man. Now F7R making a mockery of this race at the minute. Blackbox through, and he's into fourth. And Benzer's right on the back of Markados as well. Markados right on the back of Blackbox, and still front 3 getting away. Blackbox now beginning to throw his hat into the ring. There's a bit of contact there in the background. That was Brothers on the back of Benzer, trying to look to the inside line of turn 2 and 3. The Alpine there got very much audacious. Well, the Alpine base livery got very much audacious in terms of that. But Yossi leading, Keenan second, Jerry Van Bussel third. Lellybell saying in the chat, I can't take this anymore. Checkered flag, please. We've still got another 6 laps of this to go, and it's going to be brilliant.
I'm predicting it's going to go all the way down to the line, but let's hope that we don't get any contact. I doubt we're going to get any safety cars because I think it'll be too late for one. But I have seen 1 lap safety car shootouts before in previous games. It's happened, and it was in Abu Dhabi, believe it or not. I think it was on F1 2021. So we have seen it happen. Hardly likely, but I think it will only happen if the safety car was called at the very last minute as we're approaching lap 24. But let's see what Jay Van Bussel could do once again then. It's going to be, I think, his 5th or 6th chance to potentially get Kean here as well. And the same with Kean as well to try and get Yossi. But I wonder if Kean is going to save a bit of life in towards the end.
Yeah, Benzer's on the back of Markados. They're side by side running in towards the background. A shot in towards turn 14. Is Benzer going to think about the inside line on the back of Marquinhos. I think he will. Williams still for livery, though, gets out on top of that one. Marquinhos remains in 5th position, but Benza is right there or thereabouts. He has got the pace. He is showing why he should be a full-time driver rather than a reserve. Benza there in 6th position doing a fantastic job. And Bolokonga now to the inside line on Ryan, just in the background as well. Looks the inside line. Ryan tries to hold it all the way around the outside through turns 1 and 2. But I think this is Volokongan's move. There's also Williams' base liveries going at it. It's Jensen and Francesco going at it in behind as well. The Alfa Romeo livery trying to go all the way around the outside there. From Jensen's perspective on the back of Francesco, doesn't work. Jensen's going to come back at him though and towards turn number 5. This is a very tricky point to get around the outside of. But Jensen, if there's anybody can do that, it's him. And do you know what? He might just do to the inside line in towards turn number 7. And Jensen's ahead. Brilliant stuff. Into turn number 7. Jensen ahead. Francesco's still there or thereabouts, but it's Jensen's move. He's through and he's into 10th position. And that's 1 up for Alfa Romeo on Williams.
We're starting to see battles everywhere, even from the midfield of this grid, and that is really great to see. We're not just following the guys up front, we're following the likes of Jensen and Francesco for the final point. So watch out, grab your popcorn. It's going to get even crazier, especially with the DRS detection points happening very, very soon. You can start to see some people pushing right now, some people saving until the last moment. But we know what Keane is going to do.
Oh,
he's going to try and get the lead. What's happened?
Interesting. Jerry Van Bussel's trying to go all the way around the outside of him. That was almost as if they wanted to go in for team tactic. I don't know. Jerry Van Bussel to the inside line, though. 15 and 16. Gets the job done on Keane. Keane forced out wide slightly. If there's any team orders, put it this way, it's not happening because Keane and Jerry Van Bussel are side by side running down the straight. Look at how quick Jerry Van Bussel is down the straight, round the outside, in towards Sun 1 on the back of Yossi. Good thing about switching it to the inside. Doesn't get the job done. Black Box all of a sudden to the inside line as well. But Jerry Van Bussel, 30's into second ahead of Keane. Black Box there in 4th. There's Marquinhos on the inside line as well. I do not know where to turn in terms of these camera angles. Marquinhos though are side by side. This race is kicking into top gear, quite literally. Yossi from Jerry Van Bussel from Keane in 3rd. This race, honestly, they keep this up. This is race of the season.
Yeah, and I have to say, we waited weeks for a race like this, because obviously last week we didn't get one because of PSN. You can't blame the game for not having a race last week for once. You have to blame the PSN servers, unfortunately, but it was worth the wait. This is absolutely amazing so far, and we literally do not know who's going to win. Get your predictions in the chat right now. Who do you think's going to win? Kilquai is thinking Marquinhos. Harmon's saying commentator's curse. Well, I think we could get a commentator's curse coming up as well. But yes, let us know who you think's going to win. I think we've got more Black and Stefano trying to catch up. And Yossi and Jay Van Bussel Jay Van Bussel is in the race lead now.
Oh my word, and that is Bradders very late on the brakes. Nearly makes contact with Marquinhos, I think. He had to avoid Benzer and all of that as well. Bradders dropping down into 9th position. Just caught that in the back shot. Everything is now getting very aggressive all of a sudden. As soon as I say that, there's contact between Yaron and Jensen coming out to the final corner. Yossi is into second, Keane there in 3rd as they remain up front. But my word, this race is now beginning to kick into top gear. Plus 100%, I think, at this stage. Jerry Van Bussel leading. Yossi in 2nd, Keane there in 3rd. Keane still the man to watch out for. He's very quick in a straight line. He has been somewhat now negated by Yossi and Jerry Van Bussel. Jerry Van Bussel, though, he won around here in season 33. Is this now game time for him? He goes clear by 0.6 of a second. Is this now Jerry Van Bussel making a break for the race win?
Or maybe the likes of Keane and Yossi know that Jerry Van Bussel needs to score as many points as he can for the title, because realistically, Jerry Van Bussel has a better chance compared to Keane, maybe. But if I was Keane, I'll definitely be fighting this, because realistically, Keane still has a fighting chance as well. The gap is minus 17 points to Marquinhos, and he's going to finish ahead of Marquinhos. So he's still mathematically in with the shot. So I don't know why he's not going to be fighting too much, but I won't be surprised if he does. Heading towards past turn 13, then he needs to get past Yossi of some sort, because otherwise Jerry Van Bussel is going to pull away and away and away, and you're not going to want that as well. And I think it's going to be, switching laps as to when they're going to go for the move eventually, because you do not want to be leading on the final lap, I have to say, with the way this is going.
Yeah, you want to be P2 or P3, but again, Jerry Van Bussel, Yossi made a mistake there. Jerry Van Bussel has got to try and get Yossi's weakness out there. Yossi's weakness is the final corner. So if Jerry Van Bussel comes out on top by, 6-7 tenths per second as a rallying speeds into the pit lane, that might be him done for tonight. Maybe a little bit of contact further down the field, which we haven't actually seen. Nando, by the way, look at him making up ground. He's in the 10th position. We haven't covered the bottom half of the field for quite a while, but Nando's up to 10th. Getting ahead of Marlon. Marlon, I think, had a little bit of trouble, maybe with that contact with the rallying, indeed. But we'll have to wait and see on what happened, see what the stewards report. But as Alex the G has just put, it is squeaky bum time for Jerry Van Bussel. It's also squeaky bum time for this race. It's lap 27 out of 28. Jerry Van Bussel leading, Yossi in second, Kian there in third. But Jerry Van Bussel, if he holds this advantage now all the way to the checkered flag, he's going to become a race winner here in PSF1.
Yes, and I think it'll be nice to see a different race winner, because obviously Jerry Van Bussel, I believe, has won. Has he won a race, or did it get taken away? Yes, he has won a race. It was Belgium, I believe. But Yossi has not. Kian has won one. Black Box hasn't won anything, I don't think. So could we see pretty much... I'm just trying to do my maths here.
Here comes Yossi.
Yossi is going to go for the race lead on Jerry Van Bussel. I don't think Jerry Van Bussel's going to fight this. Or a bit of a lock-up as well. That might lose him a bit of time. He's got to stay within, I think, 2 attempts in that final corner, because otherwise the advantage he's gained is going to be minuscule. And Jerry Van Bussel, 3 attempts, that is what he needed. Going into the final lap of this race then, is Yossi versus Jerry Van Bussel versus Kian. I think those are the 3 realistically that can still go on for this race victory. And we'll go to Harmon's comment in just a few moments. That is either going to backfire in our faces, or we're going to be going screaming with absolute joy that we got our predictions right. We'll find out in pretty much 2 sectors time as they head towards turn number 6. They're not going to get some moves done yet. There's no point, because otherwise there could be contact. Alex G saying Jerry, Kian, Yossi will be the finishing order as well. Lily Bell saying go Kian, and LBF1 saying go Kian. And
Kian's right on it though.
Yeah, Kian is right on it as well. Kuberski is saying the one in second in the last lap will win. And that at the moment is Jerry Van Bussel.
It is final half a lap to go. It is all going to come down to this straight speed out on track. And Kian there in third might be in the best position of them all. Jerry Van Bussel's going to have the run on Yossi. Yossi, though, is having to go... Oh, Kian has a huge snap of oversteer there, coming through 12 and 13. That might be him out of it. Jerry Van Bussel now is going to have to come storming at Yossi. Yossi, I think, has got enough maybe to last down the straight, but does he? Because Jerry Van Bussel pulls to the inside line, gets the job done even before we reach 10-14. Yossi now parking the bus there. Jerry Van Bussel. It's a brilliant move from Jerry. Takes the race lead. Going to take the win, I think, with it as he comes now through into the final couple of corners here in China. What a race it has been. Jerry Van Bussel on the run to the line, takes the race win from Yossi there in second, Kian there in third. They're side by side coming through the final corner. Black Box in the end got outdone by Marcados on the line to finish in fourth. We'll run through the rest of the grid in order. They're finishing a heap in behind with 3 wide coming across the line there in the background. But Marcados finishing in fourth. But a fantastic win from Jerry Van Bussel. And it was said in the chat, the man who would finish in P2 will win. Definitely agree with that. And yes, I'm going to have to speak to Kian maybe about why I predicted him for the race win. And then he failed to do that in third.
Yes, I think Harmon is probably breathing a deep sigh of relief there, because we predicted wrong. Sorry, Kian. But Jerry Van Bussel, I have to say, he was an outsider in this championship fight. After tonight, he's definitely got a good chance more than anybody as well. I think he's going to be in second in the championship now, because Brad did not score much going into this as well. I'm going to let James do the maths in this one. I'm trying to remember who will be leading the way. I think it will still be Marcados. I might be wrong, but we will do the maths in a minute. But anyway, Jay Van Bussel takes himself 1 set closer to potentially winning the title as well. Yossi in second. Great result from him. I think his best result of the season, I believe. Kian in third. Marcados fourth. Black Box fifth. Ben's on his debut in PSF1, showing that he should deserve a full-time seat next season. Brilliant job, P6. Wolakongan, Ryan Bradders and Francesco again picking up the points where he needs to. 3rd race in a row. Points for him. Well done. We've got Nando, Jensen, Marlon, Euron, Stefano, Mulbrook, and Red in your finishers. Then we got Sam Gamer and Ryder Dow, unfortunately DNFing from this race. What a race. Definitely one of the races of the season.
Definitely so. I've got the pen out, by the way. I'm going to do some quick maths in just a second. Markedos, though, finishing in the end in 4th position now. I believe that is 8 points, if I'm not mistaken. So he'll be on 69 points. Bradders finish on 2 points, so he will get on 59. Jerovan Bussell goes up to 68 points. So I think there's a point actually between, provisionally, Jerovan Bussell and Markedos for the championship lead. That will be confirmed in due course, but in terms of my calculations, Kean there as well, finishing 3rd. He gets 10, so he's on 54. He goes past, he's 3 points behind, 5 points behind Bradders even. Black Box as well, good showing from him. He finished fifth. So all the championship protagonists, all of the guys in the top 5, came in the top 6 in that race, which was fantastic to see. Markedos, though, 69 points. Jerovan Bussell, 68. And then, Markedos will be on 70 because he got the fastest lap.
Oh, yes,
Markedos
good
on
point.
70. Markedos on 70, Jerovan Bussell on 68, Bradders on 59, and Kian on 54 is how I make it out as anyways.
Yes, it will be confirmed on Twitter in the next couple of days as well, and hopefully we will have a little bit of an update there. As soon as we know, obviously, we can then confirm on who our championship contenders are. And we didn't have a fight for the championship last season like this, so this is going to be amazing to watch. So make sure you tune in next week for Abu Dhabi. Let's hope we get some interviews at some point because we like to hear from people about their thoughts about the race. James, who's your driver of the day?
Driver of the day, Jerovan Bussell, 9th position up to 1st. And the way he managed that race, the second half of the race, we mentioned in our notes ERS management was so important.
Yes.
That's what won him the race. Tyre conservation, that's what won him the race. And he sat there behind, didn't waste any ERS, wanted to go for the moves when he wanted to. That is the hallmarks of a very good driver there. Jerovan Bussell, driver of the day, even though I would have preferred Kian to win.
Yeah, I think both of us would have preferred him, to be honest. But again, we're not going to let that down, are we? Which is a bit annoying as well. Yeah, I have to say my driver of the day, Jerovan Bussell again, doing very well. Pretty much doing stuff that the drivers around him have not about his tyre and ERS management. Maybe Markedos was pushing a little bit too much. And he needs to know going into next week if he wants to win the title to improve on his ERS management going into Abu Dhabi, which is another, I think, ERS heavy track, as it were, as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as the final race unfolds next week at 8 p.m. Anyone else want to join us? Any drivers? Doesn't look like it at the moment. Oh no, we got a thumbs up from someone, so I'm guessing someone else could join, but question is when.
Yeah, Yossi that is, who's put the thumbs up in our chat, certainly. So I will keep an eye on seeing if drivers are going to be joining the waiting room. Jerovan Bussell, I know, does reply a little bit late. He's probably having a big old debrief with his new teammates as well. And as well, what I can say in terms of that race is F7R 1, 2, 3 out on track from their guys. Fantastic
Team debut as well.
Team debut, official team debut after they announced it, 5 minutes before we actually went live. They announced it. Fantastic work from every single one of them. They are clearly one of the leading teams, of course, on PlayStation. Clearly one of the leading teams on console as well. And if you want to see more of them, you can, of course, catch Legacy Division, which I cover, of course, in a different league on a Tuesday night. So if you do want to catch that, there's no race tomorrow, but there is next week. And I believe it is Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken, off the back of my mind, which I need the calendar in front of me to confirm. But I believe it is Saudi Arabia.
Other leagues are available.
Other leagues are available, but it is a team event. And if you want to see 10 of the best teams at it on console, that is the place to go to.
Exactly. Obviously, I can't. PSGL is the league to go to on a Monday night, at least, as well. Doesn't look like Yossi's going to join us, unfortunately. Yossi has a few minutes and to talk to us as well. We can't really dwell on for too long, but let's talk about Abu Dhabi. 2021 championship finale, don't want to talk about that. 2010 championship finale as well. 2014 championship finale. It's a big track for championship finales, and we're going to get the same at PSGL.
It is, and there's only 2 points actually coming into the championship. Provisionally, of course, next week there might be stewards reports coming forward. 2 points, though, going into the final race of the season. I don't even think Legend and Taito Hardy, the closest championship battle in PSF1, was like that going into the final round of the championship. So it just comes to show, A, how these guys have actually done, B, what these guys will become, and C, what we hope for, I think, in terms of Abu Dhabi. It's normally a track which promotes a lot of overtaking. Of course, it's gone under a rehaul in the last couple of years, so promotes a lot more overtaking, possibly down in towards turns 9 and 10 as well, so it's going to be very much fascinating to see. Jerry Van Bussel's saying as well he has to go, unfortunately, so he's going to dip us for the night, which is not too bad. I do not blame him, to be honest. I think the worst thing to possibly have is have me on his back in terms of his ERS management, but it was fantastic to watch. But you can catch more action, of course, for PSGL in the meantime, because Wednesday, hopefully with realistic cars as well, PCF1 is back, and I believe it's George Morgan and not Jack Canan in the box. I think it might be, to be confirmed, who's going to be alongside him.
I think it's Chris Buxton. I think.
Nice.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Connor, if you're watching. But as far as I'm... oh, it might be Dan, actually. Is either Chris or Dan? Oh, yeah, it might be Dan. Yeah, it was in the announcement, as far as I remember.
It is Mr. Dan Field.
Yes.
And yeah, fun fact as well for everyone out there, I used to commentate with Dan Field on a Saturday night in a little unknown league, which was good. And now he's outgunning me in terms of getting the PCF1 gig.
And to be fair, we both first joined in season 26 as a commentator, and we commentated on F2 together for like 3 seasons, I think, as well. So, yes, it will be George Morgan and Dan Field taking you through the PCF1 action on Wednesday night, the championship finale. Who do you think's going to win? Well, we'll have to wait and see at 7 PM UK time. Final plug, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell if you're new, if you're liking what you're seeing. Check out our sponsors, GT Omega, 5% off all GT Omega products by using the code PSGL at checkout. You can check out the link in the description as well, or use command !GT Omega. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PremierSimGL to keep up to date on all the PSGL news as well. And yeah, that is it from us. Any final thoughts, Jade, before we wrap up?
Now, 2 points going into next week provisionally. Be tuning in next week. I want to see quite a few of you tuning in next week, because could be the tightest championship fight we've ever had.
No excuses, 8 PM UK time on next Monday. Be there. And there's also championship finales happening on all other PC tiers on Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7 PM and 8 PM. So make sure you stay tuned in then. For myself and James, we'll see you same time, same place next week, Monday night, 8 PM. 2 points separating Markados and Jay Van Bussel, but Rallers and Keane are still in this too. I've been Jess, James has been James. We'll see you next week at 8 PM. Take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.
He's got the inside, up here is through, on the left-hand side, hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now, to the last couple of corners now, his finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the GOAT is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.